This hadith, in case you can't see the top of it, it says Asid. If you can't see the title on the page, Asid, which comes from Siddiq and Sadaq, all those words, Sadaqa and Sadaqallahu al-Azim, and anyway, it means truthfulness, right? Truthfulness. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عليكم بالصدق. Assalamu alaikum Zubair.
Alaikum assalam.
You got a headset in?
I will in a minute. Let me turn the mic off for a sec.
Okay. Alaykum bis-sidq. Upon you is truthfulness. Alaykum, upon you. Meaning, it's obligatory upon you. Like upon you. Alaykum bis-sidq. It's for you, it's upon you, truthfulness. فَإِنَّ الصِّدْقَ يَهْدِي إِلَى الْبِرِّ. فَإِنَّ, the fa is so, inna is very or indeed or truly, as-sidqa, and we see that the noun following it is mansoob. فَإِنَّ الصِّدْقَ يَهْدِي إِلَى الْبِرِّ. يَهْدِي إِلَى الْبِرِّ. يَهْدِي from huda, meaning to guide. But here we probably wouldn't use the translation of guide. Yahdi. If someone guides you, for example, to the masjid, they also, we would say, led you to the masjid. They led you to the masjid. So I don't know if you would necessarily translate فَإِنَّ الصِّدْقَ يَهْدِي إِلَى الْبِرِّ, that sidq guides to righteousness. Rather, it leads إِلَى الْبِرِّ, to righteousness. Al-bir, like righteousness to the parents, good duty and good behavior. Al-bir, righteousness, good behavior. And we see that al-bir is majroor ba'da ila. Ba'da ila. It's majroor after the harf al-jar, ila. Alaykum bis-sidq. Upon you is sidq, and sidq here is majroor after the ba, right? Alaykum bis-sidq, upon you is truthfulness. فَإِنَّ الصِّدْقَ يَهْدِي إِلَى الْبِرِّ. For very truthfulness leads to righteousness. When you get to a point in this hadith, I'm sure most of us or all of us are familiar with it. You could translate the rest of it on your own just because you're so familiar with the hadith. And that means you're familiar with the language too if you just pay attention a little bit. So we just keep reading. وَإِنَّ الْبِرَّ إِنَّ and very al-bir. And we see bir went from being majroor here to being mansoob here after inna. After the harf al-jar, the noun became majroor, and after inna wa akhwatuha, it becomes mansoob. It's the same word. It's the same word, bir, but one is in after a harf al-jar, so it's ila al-birri. The second one's after inna wa akhwatuha, so it's ila al-birra. Wa inna al-birra yahdi ila al-jannah. And very righteousness leads ila al-jannah. You could say guide, but like I said, it sounds better. It sounds more what I'm familiar with hearing in the translation, to say it leads ila al-jannah. Ila al-jannati ba'da ila. وَمَا يَزَالُ رَجُلُ يَصْدُقُ. زَالَ يَزَالُ. If you look it up, zawala, meaning to cease, to stop. وَمَا يَزَالُ, meaning, and it does not cease. We said previously that there are few different types of negation. We said that ma usually comes before a past tense verb, and that la comes before a present tense, and that lan comes before a present tense verb but means the future, and that lam comes before a present tense verb but it means the past. Here we see ma being used with a present tense verb. Wa ma yazalu. This negation, being ma yazalu, shows us or reminds us that the rules of Sibawayh, the rules of Medina books, the rules of Muhammad ibn Saud books, the rules of Kitab al-Asasi, the rules of Ibn Malik and his Alfiya do not apply to Allah and to His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. These rules that we learn in Arabic grammar are general rules that this is how we use, and usually they're in modern standard Arabic. Even though Sibawayh wasn't modern standard Arabic, these issues, you don't say, no, this is a mistake in a hadith, this is a mistake in an ayah, and this is what the Orientalists do. They go and the deviants as well. They study the language. And most deviants, we're not talking about the average person in the masjid who is a tablighi jama'at or someone who does stupid stuff. We're talking about the real heads of the deviants. Most of them are like very strong in the lugha. And they'll take what they know from the lugha and then apply it to the Quran and to the Sunnah to try to change it to the meanings that they want, other than the apparent meaning of Allah or His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this ma does not only come before a past tense verb, although that's the norm. As we see, it can come before a present tense verb. So zala yazalu, meaning to cease. Wa ma yazalu rajulu, and a man, as we said, the noun being marfu after the fi'l is the fa'il. He's the one doing it. Then the noun after the verb, if it's marfu, the door. وَمَا يَزَالُ الرَّجُلُ, a man does not cease, يَصْدُقُ, to tell the truth or to say the truth. وَيَتَحَرَّى, here from ha-ra, you have a shadda, and then you're going to put a ta in front of it for 4 and 5. But you're not really going to get anything in the Hans Ware dictionary for this meaning. So he says at the bottom here, Ya'tani bihi, meaning he takes care of it. Wa yajmaluhu sajiyan lah, and he makes it a nature, or he beautifies, or he makes it natural for him to tell the truth. Yataharra, meaning that he takes care of, makes special attention to telling the truth, and he makes it his second nature, basically. From وَمَا يَزَالُ الرَّجُلُ يَصْدُقُ وَيَتَهَرَّ الصِّدْقَ. So a man does not cease to tell the truth and be concerned with the truth. Be concerned with telling the truth. hatta, until, yuktab, not yaktubu, which would be he writes, but yuktabu, majhul, or in English we say passive, meaning it's written, not he wrote, but it's written. It's passive. We know who the object is, but we don't know who the doer is. Hatta yuktaba indallahi, written with Allah, siddiqan, as a truthful person. Siddiqan. Alaykum bisidq, upon you is truthfulness. فَإِنَّ الصِّدْقَ يَهْدِي إِلَى الْبِرِّ, verily truthfulness leads to righteousness. وَإِنَّ الْبِرَّ يَهْدِي إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ, and righteousness, or verily righteousness leads to paradise. وَمَا يَزَالُ الرَّجُلُ يَصْدُقُ وَيَتَهَرَّ صِدْقًا, and a man does not cease to tell the truth and be concerned with the truth, حَتَّى يُكْتَبَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ صِدِّيقًا, until he's written with Allah as a truthful person. وَإِيَّاكُمْ وَالْكَذَبِ, وَإِيَّاكُمْ, وَإِيَّاكُمْ what? We said this is a warning or a prohibition. As we studied hadith, وَإِيَّاكُمْ وَالظَّنِّ, فَإِنَّ الظَّنَّ أَكْذَبُ الْحَدِيثِ, beware of suspicion, beware of, meaning it's prohibited. We have وَإِيَّاكُمْ وَالْغُلُوِّ, beware of going overboard. We have a lot of this. وَإِيَّاكُمْ وَالْكَذَبِ, kadhab from kadhaba, meaning to lie. إِيَّاكُمْ وَالْكَذَبِ, beware of lying. فَإِنَّ الْكَذِبِ يَهْدِي إِلَى الْفُجُورِ, for verily lying leads to al-fujur, from fajara, meaning here immorality. It leads to immorality. وَإِنَّ الْفُجُورَ يَهْدِي إِلَى النَّارِ, and verily immorality leads to the fire. We can look and we can see all of these kasras after harful jars, and we can see our fathas ba'da inna wa akhawat. يهدي إلى الفجور وإن الفجور يهدي إلى النار وما يزال الرجل يكذب ويتهرى الكذب, and a man does not cease to lie and be concerned with lying, meaning making it his second nature. حتى يكتب, or حتى يكتب, and yuktaba is mansub ba'da hatta, even though not all times does the verb become or the noun become mansub after hatta. Here it does. حتى يكتب عند الله كذابا, until he's written with Allah as a liar. وَإِيَّاكُمْ وَالْكَذِبِ, and beware of lying. فَإِنَّ الْكَذِبَ يَهْدِي إِلَى الْفُجُورِ, for verily lying leads to immorality. وَإِنَّ الْفُجُورَ يَهْدِي إِلَى النَّارِ, and immorality leads to the fire. وَمَا يَزَالُ الرَّجُلُ يَكْذِبُ وَيَتَهَرَّ الْكَذِبَ, and a man does not cease to lie and be concerned with lying or making it his second nature, hatta yuktaba, until he's written in Allah kadhaban, as a liar. This hadith is in Muslim 6639. Abdullah. And who is Abdullah? When Muslim is silent about who he is, he just says Abdullah. Who is he?
Ibn Mas'ud.
Ibn Mas'ud. Barakallahu feekum. Any questions about this hadith?
Yeah.
Okay. يلا يا زبير اقرأ لنا.
قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: عليكم بالصدق، فإن الصدق يهدي إلى البر، وإن البر يهدي إلى الجنة، وما يزال الرجل يصدق ويتحرى الصدق حتى يكتب عند الله صديقا، وإياكم والكذب، فإن الكذب يهدي إلى الفجور، وإن الفجور يهدي إلى النار، وما يزال الرجل يكذب ويتحرى الكذب حتى يكتب عند الله كذابا.
May Allah protect us from that. Abu Tahir.
قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم: عليكم بالصدق، فإن الصدق يهدي إلى البر، وإن البر يهدي إلى الجنة، وما يزال الرجل يصدق ويتحرى الصدق حتى يكتب عند الله صديقا، وإياكم والكذب، فإن الكذب يهدي إلى الفجور، وإن الفجور يهدي إلى النار، وما يزال الرجل يكذب ويتحرى الكذب حتى يكتب عند الله كذابا.
نعم. يلا عبد الله.
Not bad, man. I'm in too much traffic.
Okay. I'm going to read the English translation so you guys can see it from Sahih Muslim. It's in the end of volume 6, number 6639. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ said, I enjoin you to be truthful. Alaykum bisidq. They're saying here, I enjoin you to be truthful. For truthfulness leads to righteousness, and righteousness leads to paradise. A man may continue to tell the truth and endeavor to be truthful until he is recorded with Allah as truthful, and beware of lying, for lying leads to wickedness, and wickedness leads to the fire. A man may continue to tell lies and endeavor to tell lies until he is recorded with Allah as a liar. You can look at that and then look at the more verbatim translation and see, how certain things are. For alaykum bisidq, upon you is truthfulness. I enjoin you to be truthful. MashaAllah. It just, The next hadith. Oops. There we go. The next hadith. Al-kalimatu tayyibah. Al-kalima is a word, as we know. As we learned, kalimatan habibatan, or kalimatan khafifatan. 2 words. Al-kalima is the word. Al-tayyibah, tayyib, good. So here, al-tayyibah is an adjective to al-kalima. That's why tayyib has a ta marbuta, because kalima is feminine, so tayyib has to be feminine. Has alif lam, so it has alif lam. It's marfu, so it's marfu. It's singular, so it's singular. And we'll, inshallah, the next class inside of the Nahu Wadi is going over not women oat, which is the adjectives. So we'll go over that more, even though we're really familiar with it. We're just going to cover the chapter as we should. So the good word, or the goodly word, however you want to translate it, the good word. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الكلمة الطيبة صدقة. It's that easy. الكلمة الطيبة صدقة. The good word is sadaqah. It's charity. I don't think there's any. This hadith, it says is Bukhari and Muslim. I did not find it in Muslim. A lot of times it's part of a bigger hadith. It's harder to find. In fact, in Bukhari, it's not even in a number of a hadith, as far as I found. It's in Kitab, Adab, right? Bab, Khairul Kalam. It's mu'allaq, meaning he didn't bring it as an actual hadith. He brought it just as a narration in a chapter title. Now it could be somewhere else in the book, but I didn't find it, but I did find it there from Aisha radiallahu anha. Inside of this Kitab al-Adab, Bab Khairul Kalam, I found it mu'allaqan, right? I found it just brought as a chapter title type of thing. Any questions about this hadith?
لا.
Can you read this one, Abdullah?
Yeah, short. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الكلمة الطيبة صدقة.
نعم. Abu Tahir.
قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الكلمات طيبات صدقة.
Zubair.
قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم الكلمة الطيبة صدقة. What number is it in Muslim?
I didn't find it in Muslim. Like I said, a lot of times they're part of a bigger hadith, and this might be in the middle of 3 paragraphs, and it's not easy to look up, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't find it. We'll find it, inshallah. I'll send you a message at WhatsApp or something, inshallah. The next hadith. تحريم سب المسلم. تحريم سب المسلم. Come on, background. There we go. Tahrim sab al-Muslim. Tahrim, again from haram, ha, ra, meen, from the word haram, or prohibition, the forbiddance. Sab, from sin, ba, meaning to curse al-Muslim. The prohibition of cursing, and this is mudaf ilayh. Tahrim is mudaf. Sab is mudaf ilayh, and it's also mudaf, and Muslim is mudaf ilayh. So this is 2 mudaf ilayhs. The prohibition of cursing of the Muslim. Prohibition of cursing of the Muslim, but the prohibition of cursing the Muslim. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم سباب المسلم فسوق وقتاله كفر. Sibab is the same from sab, meaning to curse. Sibab al-Muslim, cursing the Muslim. Fusuq is fusuq, meaning, how do we translate that, right? SubhanAllah. Fisk is, I'm sorry, 1 second. I typed that wrong. Certain words, you just know what they mean, and you don't even think about it till the last minute. How you translate fisk? Sinfulness, viciousness, moral depravity, sinfulness, offense. It could be lots of things, right? Sibab al-Muslim fusuq. Basically, it's a big sin, right? It's a sin. It's a horrible sin. وَقِتَالُهُ كُفْرٌ. وَقِتَالُهُ كُفْرٌ. And fighting him, not قَتْلُهُ. قَتْ is killing. Qital is fighting. As we said, قتل يقتل قتل يقتل versus قاتل يقاتل قاتل يقاتل. Every time you add something, you add meaning. So here we added an aleph. Qatala means to kill. This second one means to fight. What do we benefit? What is added here? The killing could be between one person or just one, it could be one-sided. You know, someone just kills someone, the other person's not fighting, the other person's not doing anything, they're not arguing with him, they just robbed them at the ATM and killed them. That's it. The ATM person at the ATM didn't have nothing to do with it. He was taking his money out and minding his own business. Qatala meaning in between each other. This one hit this one hit that one. He was mad at him, they were fighting. Here, aluhu, not qatluhu. Fighting him is kufr. See, Babul Muslim fusuq, slandering cursing the Muslim is fisq. I'm gonna look it up in the Quran if you give me a second. See how they translate it there. Says here, I can find the word inside the ayat. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find the word here in the ayat. It says disobedience and sin. That's what it says in the Quran, disobedience and sin. See, Babul Muslim fusuq, you know, but we know what the word means now, so we can just say the word, inshallah. Cursing the Muslims, Babul Muslim fusuq wa qitalu kufr. This hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. Bukhari number 148, Muslim 221, from Ibn Mas'ud. Any questions? قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لعن المؤمن يرحمك الله لعن المؤمن كقتله لعن المؤمن كقتله. Cursing of the believer is like killing him. It's like killing him. Cursing the believer is like killing him. La'ana al-mu'min, la'ana with the same meaning of sab. Right? La'ana al-mu'min, the cursing of the believer, kakatli is like killing him. Here we have qatal. Here we have qatal. We have the word killing, not fighting, not qitalahu, but katlihi. And we have the word kaf, which we said is a harf jar making qatal majroor. La'an al-mu'mini, the curse of the cursing of the believer, kakatlihi is like killing.
Do these two
This
words have the
hadith,
same meaning?
huh?
Do these two words have the same meaning? Is la'na the same as sib, or is it?
La'na and sub are the same basic meaning, yes. That's why they're both even brought underneath this chapter. They have the same basic meaning. Of course, Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah tells us no two words are exactly alike, that there's some gradation of difference there. What is the gradation here? I don't know the gradation between these two words, but basically they're interchangeable. Lan or sub or sub is the same thing, inshallah ta'ala, for the most part. This hadith, I'm going to write it up here because of space, is in Bukhari and Muslim, number 6047, and in Muslim 303, from Thabit ibn Dahak. And we had this hadith before inside of 100 hadith. When we did the 100 hadith, we had this hadith. Thabit ibn Dahak. Cursing the believer is like killing him. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن اللعاني لا يكونون شهداء ولا شفعاء يوم القيامة. إن اللعاني, verily the cursers, la'ani, those who curse. La'anun, the plural, la'anun, right? Of li'an, cursor. La'anun is the plural, or la'an, it could be here, right? La'an, not li'an, la'an. This says, 1. La'anun is marfu' with a waw, not a dhamma. So when it becomes majroor or mansoob, here it's mansoob after inna, it becomes la'ani. It becomes mansoob with a ya. We discussed that the other day briefly inside of Nahwu Wadih. Inna la'ani, the cursers, those who curse. La yakununa, they will not be, from kana yakunu, they will not be, or they are not, shuhada, witnesses. Meaning, if there's a court case, and this person is a witness, the judge is not going to accept him. He's not going to accept him as a witness because he's a la'an. He's a person who curses a lot. He's someone who curses people. So the judge is not going to accept his testimony, his shahada. Wala shufa'a. Nor are they going to be a shafi', which is the plural of, or the singular of shufa'a, shafa'a, intercessors. Wala shufa'a yawm al-qiyam. Nor will they be intercessors on the day of judgment. Meaning, they will not be able to say, but, oh Allah, please help so-and-so, because of the habit of cursing. Inna la'anin, verily those who curse, or those cursers, whatever, la yakununa shuhada, they are not witnesses, wala shufa'a yawm al-qiyamah, on the day of judgment, nor are they intercessors on the day of judgment. This hadith is in Muslim, number 6612. Abu Darda. The question is, like people who use bad words, more so people who, I guess bad words would probably be involved in English for sure, but more so people who, like, astaghfirullah, goddamn him, you know, and trying to talk bad about people, not bad about them like Giba or Namima, but cursing them. People who, like say damn him, I hope he goes and make dua against them, like this, la'an, someone who's cursing him. The la'an is when you, the li'an is when you curse a person to hell, or may he never be righteous. It's like this dua against him for evil. But in English, it would probably include bad words. Let's see what he says here inside of Muslim. Give me a second. And we can look all this stuff up in the books, but it's not meant to be a class teaching. The hadith is more so a reading. But sometimes we get stuck and we need to know more, then we'll do it. Inshallah, I'll make out a research for myself today to look this hadith up. But inside the Muslim, it just says those who curse will not be witnesses or intercessors on the day of judgments. All right? Any questions about the hadith?
Just find out.
Go ahead. Okay. Inshallah. Go ahead and read for us, Abu Tahir.
قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم سباب المسلم فسوق وقتاله كفر. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لعن المؤمن كقتله. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن العانين لا يكونون شهداء ولا شفعاء يوم القيامة.
نعم يلا عبد الله.
Did he finish?
Yeah, you read him.
قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم سباب المسلمين فسوق وقتاله كفر. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لعن المؤمنين
كقتله. نعم.
كقتله. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن اللعانين لا يكونون شهداء ولا شفعاء يوم القيامة.
Okay. Zubair, are you read or no?
No. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم سباب المسلم فسوق وقتاله كفر. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم لعن المؤمن كقتله. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إن اللعانين لا يكونون شهداء ولا شفعاء يوم القيامة.
No. Okay, the next hadith. الغيبة. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كل المسلم على المسلم حرام دمه وماله وعرضه. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كل المسلم على المسلم حرام دمه وماله وعرضه. كل means every. And as we said, every noun that comes after kullu is going to be mudaf ilayh. Every noun that comes after kullu is going to be mudaf ilayh, therefore majroor. So kullul muslimi, every Muslim, but not every Muslim. I translated and I just said that wrong. All of the Muslim. Meaning every part of the Muslim. Not every Muslim. That would be kullu muslimin. Every Muslim. There's a difference. So if I, for instance, I want to say I have $1 likulli talib. Kullu talibin. For every student. But if I say kullu at-talib with the alif lam, I mean for all of the student, one student, without an S in case you can't hear it. Kullu talib, for every pupil. So you can not hear the S. For all of the pupil. Meaning, for the one, for all of him, I have $1. Or if I say kullu talibin, for every talib, then it has to be without the alif lam. So here it means all of the Muslim. Al-Muslim. For the other Muslim, for basically. Allah here is for, or on, or towards. Right? All of the Muslim for another Muslim is haram. Prohibited. What do you mean all of the Muslim? I mean demuhu. Dem is blood. Mal is money or wealth. Wa'ird is honor. So demuhu. What I mean all of the Muslim? I don't understand that. All of the Muslim. I mean demuhu, his blood. Wa'malahu, his wealth. His honor. All of him. All of him is haram upon the other Muslim. Any questions?
You saying demohu? Is it a kasra or a demohu?
Demuhu. Dem.
With a kasra or a fatha?
Fatha.
It sounded like you're saying dim with a kasra.
No, dem, not dim. Not dim, dem.
Okay.
This hadith, it says, is a Muslim, although I couldn't find it, but I did find it in Ibn Majah. Right, number 3933 from Abu Huraira. If it's in Muslim, I didn't find it, but I did find it in Ibn Majah. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كل المسلم على المسلم حرام دمه وماله وعرضه. So now we have this being mudaf ilayh. Then we have ala affecting this Muslim to be majroor. Then we have haram being marfu'. Basically, this is the khabar of kullu. Kullu is the mubtada and haram is the khabar. Kullu, all of it, haram is haram. All of what? Kullu Muslim ala Muslim haram. You understand? But kullu haram. All of it is haram. That would be the sentence. A short, concise, not complicated sentence. Kullu haram. All of it is haram. What do you mean all of it? Kullu muslimi ala muslimi haram. Phrase Okay, damuhu wa maluhu wa irdu. Right? That's just going on, describing what's haram. We don't have time necessarily for the next hadith, but we could read one, inshallah ta'ala. Ya Zubair.
قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كل المسلم على المسلم حرام دمه وماله وعرضه.
Ya Allah. Abu Tahir, I'm sorry.
قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كل المسلم على المسلم حرام دمه وماله وإرده.
Naam. Abdullah.
قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كل المسلم على المسلم حرام دمه وماله وإرده.
Naam. What is ird? Ird is honor. His ird is his honor. Ird is his honor. Ain ra dad. Honor. His honor, meaning you can't go around slandering him. You can't beat him up. You hear that, Abdullah? You can't take his money. Right? And you can't talk bad about him.
Don't say you can't beat him up. You said it's blood. I think that means killing.
That's what Kitalahu kufr, brother. Kitalahu kufr. Fighting him is kufr. That's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all take one hadith and run with it and forget about and throw the rest of them behind your back.
You know, fighting him. Now, if you got a reason, now you're supposed to fight him. I like it.
Abdullah, you broke up.
I said fighting him for a reason is permissible.
Who said?
Abdullah.
Who said? The Prophet said.
Abdullah said, mashallah, mashallah.
What do you mean who said?
Yeah, the Prophet and Allah said so.
When Adam,
I told you.
When Adam's son came and was killing his other son, Lil says, I'm not going to raise my hand to you, man. I'm not going to raise my hand to you. When they were killing Uthman, radiallahu anhu, when they came into his room and they were killing him while he was reciting Quran, and family was there. He was the Khalifa and had all the right. He just sat there and read Quran, man. Let him do it, man. He ain't fight back, man. Let him take your evil deeds, man. Don't join in, man. Kitalahu kufr, man. Even if you don't.
You just sit there.
I will. I'll just sit there, inshallah.
Okay.
You wait on that too, okay? Inshallah. We'll meet Saturday morning, inshallah ta'ala. Friday night for you guys. Abdullah, you want to do number or Zubair, you going to be there? Or no, let Abdullah do it. Abdullah, do this hadith, huh?
Well, just send it to me.
Okay, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan ya akhwan wa akhawat. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.